Let's jump right in. If you've got a brilliant business idea for the Beehive State, you absolutely need a liability shield. So welcome to this explainer. Today, we're navigating the exact rules, fees, and paperwork to turn that idea into a legal reality and get your Utah LLC built from the ground up. And here's a crazy fact to kick things off. Did you know that 4 out of 5 Utah small businesses actually survive their first year? That is a massive success rate. Utah boasts an incredibly business-friendly environment with super low fees and a highly favorable tax climate. Setting up an LLC is that crucial foundational step that protects you, so you can focus on being part of that winning statistic. Okay, so here's our roadmap. We're going to quickly cover why you need a Utah LLC, naming and reserving, designating a registered agent, filing your certificate, getting your agreements and tax IDs in order, and finally, ongoing compliance. Starting with step 1, why a Utah LLC? Basically, before you form an LLC, the state views any business activity as, well, your personal activity. Imagine someone slips and falls in your store. Without an LLC, your personal home, your car, your savings, they're all on the line in a lawsuit. An LLC builds a literal legal brick wall between your business debts and your personal assets. It completely separates you from the business entity, offering a robust liability shield along with really flexible pass-through taxation. Moving right along to step 2, naming and reserving. So you need to pick the perfect, legally compliant name for your new venture. Now, what's really interesting here is Utah's strict distinguishability rule. Simply changing the entity designator at the end, yeah, that doesn't cut it. Awesome LLC and Awesome Inc. are viewed as the exact same name by the state. You need something meaningfully different, like Awesome Ventures LLC, to actually get approved. Plus, you've got some specific naming rules to follow. You must include a proper identifier, like LLC, LLC, or limited company at the end of your name. And you have to avoid restricted words, unless you've got special governmental permission. For example, trying to name your cafe the University of Espresso, that's going to trigger an automatic rejection from the state, unless you have prior authorization for it. Now, let's say you found the perfect name, but you're just not quite ready to file the official paperwork. Well, for a tiny $22 fee, you can reserve that name for a full 120 days. That buys you almost 4 months of exclusive peace of mind to get your paperwork sorted, without stressing that someone else is going to snatch up your brand identity. Okay, step 3, registered agent. Every single Utah LLC must continuously maintain a registered agent. Think of them as your official, reliable point of contact for the state. They have to have a physical street address within Utah's borders, so absolutely no P.O. boxes allowed, and they must be physically present during normal business hours. You can totally be your own agent, but honestly, a lot of people hire a commercial service just for the privacy. Why? Because if your business ever gets sued, service of process means a sheriff or process server is physically handing you legal papers. You probably don't want that going down right in front of your customers. All right, step 4, filing the certificate. This is it, the big moment where your business officially comes into existence. Now, you might hear people on the internet talk about filing articles of organization, but listen up. Utah specifically uses the term certificate of organization. They mean the exact same thing, but when you're navigating the state's website, make sure you're looking for the certificate of organization. Without filing this specific document, your LLC simply does not exist yet. So, what does it actually cost? Here is the financial breakdown. A standard filing is highly affordable at just $59. And that takes about 3 to 10 days to process. But if you're eager to launch, say, this weekend, you can drop an extra $75 for expedited processing. That brings you to $134 total, and you'll be fully registered in just 1 to 2 days. The hands-down fastest way to do this is through Utah's one-stop business registration portal online. In one seamless session, you can fill out your certificate, pay that $59 state fee securely, and even link up with the State Tax Commission and the Department of Workforce Services. It's a real time saver. Step 5, agreements and tax IDs. Okay, so even though Utah law doesn't strictly mandate that you have an operating agreement, it is functionally required to solidify your liability protection. This internal contract spells out the whole shebang: who owns what percentage, how profits and losses are divided, your voting rights, your management structure, and the rules for adding or removing members. It's the ultimate proof that your LLC is a legitimate, separate entity. You absolutely need to get this in writing, especially because banks will almost always ask for it when you go to open a business account. Next up, you need to grab your free Employer Identification Number, or EIN. Think of an EIN as a social security number, but for your business. It is completely free to apply for directly on the IRS website, and you're going to need it to hire any employees and, again, to open that all-important business checking account. And finally, step 6, compliance. Let's talk about how to keep your LLC in good standing year after year. Utah is incredibly affordable for the long haul. It only requires an $18 annual renewal fee to maintain your active status. You'll definitely want to mark your calendar for that because missing the 30-day grace period tacks on a $10 late penalty. Also, if you plan to run your business under a brand name that's different from your official LLC name, you'll need to file an assumed name, or a DBA. That costs $22, and you'll just need to renew it every 3 years. Just a quick technical aside for you, Utah recently reorganized its business code. Because of Senate Bill 41, all LLC laws are now cleanly consolidated under Title 16, Chapter 20 of the Utah Code. It's just a handy little detail to know if you ever need to look up the actual state statutes yourself. Real quick before we wrap up, I need to give you our standard disclaimer. The content in this explainer is for informational purposes only and should absolutely not be considered legal advice. It's highly advisable to consult with a professional attorney or business advisor when making any legal decisions for your own business. All right, you now have the exact step-by-step roadmap to launch your Utah LLC. So the only question left is, what kind of empire are you going to build in the Beehive state, and what are you going to name it?